Hello children, this is for Form 4 Human Biology, Nutrition and Energy, Unit 2, Chapter 4. In this chapter, you will find out different classes of food substances what you eat and how they are broken down by the digestive system and also how they are absorbed. And you will find out some of the problems that happen if you don't have a balanced diet. So here let's see the objectives of this chapter. So after discussing this chapter, you should be able to fulfill these objectives. So first one, to explain the importance of a balanced diet. Then know the sources and function of carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, vitamin A, C and D and the mineral ions. And describe the causes and symptoms of deficiency diseases, kwashiorkor, anemia, scurvy and blindness. Then describe how to investigate vitamin C content of a sample food and energy content of a sample food. And know the structure of human alimentary canal. And know the types, structure and function of teeth. And explain how food is moved through the gut by peristalsis and the role of dietary fiber in the process. And describe the functions of mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine and pancreas in the digestion. And understand the role of digestive enzymes and understand the role of bile and also understand how the structure of villi helps absorption in small intestine and understand the meaning of body mass index or BMI. And finally, they explain the importance of hygienic methods of food preparation, cooking, storage and preservation. First we will see why we need food. It's because food provides nutrients to us. So nutrients provide energy for body activities, like it provides materials for growth and repair tissues, and also it will help to prevent diseases and keep our bodies healthy. And let's see what is a balanced diet then. So balanced diet means a diet which consists of all the food groups in the correct proportions. That necessary food groups are carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, vitamins, minerals, dietary fibers and also water. So now let's see about carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are our main source of energy. Even though it is recommended that total carbohydrate in a healthy diet should be about 50% for our daily energy needs, that carbohydrate only make up about 1% of the human body. So but carbohydrate does a very important role in human body. So it is mainly because of during respiration cells release energy by breaking down glucose. So glucose is a monosaccharide. So there are three types of carbohydrates according to their structure. They are monosaccharides, disaccharides and polysaccharides. So monosaccharides are the simplest structural form of carbohydrates. So they are normally simple sugars like glucose, fructose, galactose. So glucose are mainly found in many sweet tasting foods like fruits and vegetables. And fructose is normally called as fruit sugar and lactose is called as milk sugar. And when it comes to sucrose, so sucrose is ordinary table sugar. They are mainly extracted from sugar cane. And actually glucose can be received by digestion of starch. So the starch is polysaccharide of glucose. So starch also stored in the food in the plants such as potato, rice, wheat, and there are some foods which are rich in starch like bread and pasta. They are rich starch sources. So then glycogen. So glycogen is again a polysaccharide of glucose. So it is actually found in animal tissues such as liver and muscle. And then cellulose. So cellulose is again a polymer of glucose. So it is actually found in most commonly found in plant cell walls, and humans actually cannot digest cellulose because human gut does not have enzyme needed to break down cellulose molecule. So that means we are not able to use cellulose as our source of energy, but in our digestive process cellulose perform vital role because it forms dietary fiber, and they gives our muscles of gut to function well, mainly avoiding constipation and helping to prevent serious diseases of the intestine like colitis and bowel cancers like diseases. Now let's see about lipids. Lipids are mainly fats and oils. So fats are found in solid form at room temperature, and oils are found in liquid form. And lipids are mainly made out from fatty acids and glycerol. And some of the examples for lipid containing foods are meat, butter, cheese, milk, egg, and oily fish. So all of them are rich in animal fats. When considering about vegetable oils, they are also rich in lipids. So examples are olive oil, corn oil, coconut oil, and also there are some other products made out from oils such as margarine. And lipids make up about 10% of body's mass, and they form an essential part of all our structure, all the cells. And their fat layer under the skin act as an insulation, and it reducing heat loss through the surface of the body. And actually fat around the organs like kidneys, they help to protect those organs from mechanical damages. And also these lipids are essential part of our diet. Too much lipid is actually unhealthy. Most commonly that too much cholesterol is very harmful to our body. So that cholesterol can be cause to heart diseases also. And actually it is recommended that total lipid in a healthy diet should supply less than 35% of our daily energy needs. Now let's see about proteins. So proteins are made out from long chains of amino acids. Proteins actually make up about 80% of our body mass, and this is the second largest fraction after water, and all cells contain protein. Most common compounds in the body are made out from proteins, and we need protein because it helps to our growth and repair our tissues. And mainly all the enzymes in our body are proteins. And here you can see some of the protein rich foods: meat, fish, egg, cheese, beans and nuts. So they are protein rich foods, and it is recommended that to our daily intake, that means 0.75 gram of proteins per 1 kilogram. That means for adults whose weight is around 60 kilogram need 45 grams of proteins per day. So that the ratio means 0.75 gram of proteins per 1 kilogram. So that will multiply by the person's total body weight. So due to the lack of proteins, it can cause protein deficiency, and this condition is known as kwashiorkor. So this is most commonly found in poor countries, economically not developed countries. So let's discuss about minerals. So far we have discussed about the structure and function of carbohydrates, proteins and lipids. So you may remember that they are made out from carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, like chemical elements. So apart from those elements, our body contains many other elements also. So we have to get those elements from our food as minerals or mineral ions. So some are present in large amounts in the body, like calcium. So calcium is mainly used to make teeth and bones, and some other minerals are present in somewhat smaller amounts. So but they have, even though the amount is small, they have essential jobs to perform. So for instance, our body contains only 3 gram of iron, but without that amount, our blood would not be able to carry oxygen. So now let's look about what are those minerals and how they important in our body. So first we will see about calcium. So calcium is mainly used to make teeth and bones in our body. So they are mainly can be obtained from dairy products, fish and vegetables, and also from bread. And then phosphorus. So phosphorus are mainly important for healthy bones and teeth, and they are also found in every cell. They are part of DNA also. So we can get phosphorus from meat, fish, poultry, eggs and milk also. Many processed foods also, they have phosphorus. And then sodium. So sodium, mainly we need sodium for our proper fluid balance and nerve transmission, and also for muscle contraction also it needs sodium ions. And sodium are mainly we can obtain from table salt and soy sauce and many foods items we eat, from vegetables, and then chlorine. So chlorine, where we can obtain, so what is the function of chlorine? So main function is it also need to proper fluid balance, and also it provides stomach acid, and mainly we can obtain chloride or chlorine from table salt and soy sauce, and also from processed food items. And milk also, there are small amount of chloride can be found in. Then magnesium ion. So magnesium again they will help to make the bones. So they can be obtained from green vegetables. And ions, so iron are a part of hemoglobin in red blood cells. So iron is very important element, part of molecule. So and also they need iron can be obtained from red meat, eggs, and some vegetables like spinach. So here you can you may have some idea about what are the minerals iron present in our human body, how we can get those mineral ions, what are the food items we should eat to get those things. And so here you should know that the main minerals we in our body are calcium, phosphorus, sodium, chlorine, and magnesium and iron. So and then we should know what are the deficiency, what are the effects if we are lack of these minerals, what are the deficiency diseases we can have. So first one is ricket. So ricket is mainly caused by due to calcium deficiency and also from the vitamin D also, both due to the both factors, deficiency in both factors, this disease can be formed. And also anemia, the condition like anemia, they will form due to anemia is mainly happen if they will do not get enough amount of iron, so that they cannot make enough hemoglobin for their red blood cells. So that causes condition called anemia. So here let's identify what are vitamins. So vitamins are actually compounds that our body need to work properly. So we cannot make most of vitamins. Because of that, we need to get those vitamins from our diets. So there are about 13 vitamins altogether, and they are classed as micronutrients. So because we only need them in small quantities, usually in milligrams or micrograms every day. So one exception is vitamin D. So we can make vitamin D through the action of sunlight on our skin, and also vitamin B3 also from an amino acid we can made out. And now let's see, why do we need vitamins? So without them, actually our bodies would not be able to perform their vital tasks like converting food into energy and building and maintaining bones, teeth, muscles and skin, and also blood and hair. And also it needs to keep our brain, eyes, nervous system and immune system in good working manner. So therefore vitamins are essential nutrients for our body. So when it's some vitamins like vitamin C, so they help us to absorb iron from plant foods, and vitamin D helps us to absorb calcium, and vitamin A, C and E all have an antioxidant effect also. Here we will see about some of those vitamins in detail. And first, vitamin A. So vitamin A is needed to make a light sensitive chemical in the eye, mainly in the retina. So the main first sign of vitamin A deficiency is night blindness. That means if a person is difficult to see in dim light, it may be a sign of vitamin A deficiency. So long-term deficiency of vitamin A results complete blindness also. So then if we consider about vitamin C is needed to make fibers of material in connective tissues. So this actually act as glue that binds cells together in tissues and support internal organs. And that vitamin C deficiency leads actually to a disease called scurvy. So this condition normally occurs then wounds fail to heal and bleeding occurs in various places in the body. This especially can be noticed in gums. So then if we consider about vitamin B is actually not a single substance. It's a collection of many different substances called vitamin B group. It includes vitamin B1, vitamin B2, vitamin B3, and these compounds are involved in the process of cell respiration. And different deficiency diseases can be resolved if any of them are missing from our diet. So, for example, due to the lack of vitamin B1, it results weakening of muscles. The disease is called as beriberi, and the main vitamins the main vitamins and their roles in the body and some of the foods which are good sources of them are summarized here. Also, you can get an idea about what are the foods we can get those vitamins and what is the amount we need to take those vitamins in daily. So you can read the table and have an idea. Here we will see energy content of foods. So different kinds of food contain different energy values. So energy content depend on the proportion of carbohydrate, lipid and protein that food contain. So normally energy in a food is measured using kilojoules. That means the standard unit for measuring energy in foods is kilojoule. So if a 1 gram of carbohydrate is fully oxidized, that means it produces about 17 kilojoules. And if a gram of lipid fully oxidized, it yields over twice of this one. That means about 39 kilojoule. And protein can produce about 18 kilojoule per gram. And if we consider about the food labels, usually food labels show the energy content of the food and it lists the amount of the different nutrients present in that food. And here you can see some of the examples of foods and their energy values. That means kilojoule values per 100 grams. There you can see the margarine, butter, peanut, chocolate, table sugar, rice, white bread, milk, yogurt, cheese, roast chicken. So how their energy values are different from each other, you can observe them. So there you can see that chocolate have per 100 gram of chocolate it produce 2300 kilojoules. A lot of energy is produced by that one. And also from margarine, butter, they also produce huge amount of energy than compared with the other ones. So here in this table you are given the values of daily energy needs of different types of people. So before going to discuss this table values, you should know that while you are sleeping also you need a supply of energy. Because of what? In order to keep warm your body and also to work your heart. That means in order to beat your heart it needs energy, and also to allow messages from nerves and also to other body functions to happen. It needs energy. So this energy requirement is always depends on the physical works what you do. So the total amount of energy a person needs to keep his or her healthy body actually depends on his or her age and body size and on the amount of activity they do. And also this will have an effect from the climate where the person is living. And if a person lives in a cold country, need more energy to maintain their body temperature. And from this table you can figure out what are the age groups which you need more energy, and what are the if you think about the male and female, how it is different from those two. So I have here highlighted from yellow your age group, and here you can figure out how much energy you need per day. So think whether you are getting those energy or not. So actually those are you should remember that those are approximate values, and generally a person with greater height, greater weight needs more energy than the normal person. So actually you can here see the energy of a pregnant woman also increased, mainly because that she needs extra energy to carry out her activities, and heavy manual worker also needs extra energy for his muscle activities. Now let's see the structure and function of teeth. So humans actually have 4 types of teeth. What are they? Incisors, canines, premolars and molars. So most of the other mammals also have 4 types of teeth, and the arrangement of an animal's teeth is called as dentition. So here you can see how our teeth have arranged in the mouth. So at the front of the mouth there are incisors, and they are relatively sharp chisel shaped teeth, and mainly they are used for biting of pieces of food. And behind the incisors in each jaw is a pair of canines. So in humans, canines are also similar to shape of incisors and have the same biting function. So behind the canines there are cheek teeth or molars and premolars. So the cheek teeth have a flatter top surface, that means a crown, and the top and bottom sets of cheek teeth meet crown to crown, and that they can be used for chewing or crushing food. Human teeth have adapted to deal with a wide range of food types. That means human can eat meat and fish, and also they can eat plant items also. Then if we look at the internal structure of human tooth, you can see here there are two main parts, crown and root. So here the crown of tooth is actually covered from a non-living material. It is called enamel. So it is the hardest substance in the body, and under that enamel there is a soft material that is called dentin. So that middle layer of the tooth is called a pulp cavity, and this pulp cavity contains blood vessels and nerves, and there are fine channels running through the dentin, and it is filled with cytoplasm. So there are these cytoplasmic strands are actually kept alive by nutrients and oxygen from the blood vessels into the pulp cavity. So then the root of tooth is covered with a cement. It contains fibers, and there's another thing that you should know, that during our lifetime that mammals have two sets of teeth. That means first set of teeth is called the milk teeth, and in humans normally these start to grow through the gum when a child is a few months old. That means by the age of about 21 or 22 months a child will have 20 teeth. That means they are mainly called milk teeth, and from around the age of 7 years the milk teeth are pushed out by permanent teeth, and they grow underneath them, and normally the molars are at the back. They are present only as permanent teeth, and finally for adult person, he or she have 32 teeth. That means full set of teeth means there are 32 teeth. When you become old, when you become an adult, you have 32 teeth in your mouth as a full set. Here we will see about digestion. So food we take into our body goes through 5 different stages during it passes through the alimentary canal or the gut. Those 5 stages are mentioned here. So first one is ingestion. So during ingestion what happens? You take substances. That means you take foods and drinks into your body through the mouth during ingestion. Then mechanical digestion. Mechanical digestion means breaking down of food into smaller pieces without chemical change into that food molecules. Only mechanically broken down of that food particles. Then chemical digestion. Chemical digestion means breaking down of large insoluble molecules into small soluble molecules. Then absorption. Absorption means the movement of small food molecules and ions through the wall of intestine into the blood. That means small food molecules and ions should be absorbed to the blood. And then assimilation. So it means that movement of digested food molecules into the cells of the body where they are used, and they should be then become a part of the cells. And finally ingestion. Ingestion means the passing out of food that has not been digested or absorbed. So they are as feces through the anus. So here let's see the structure and function of the digestive system. So actually your digestive system is there, it has a unique design to turn the food what you eat into nutrients and absorb them into the body cells. So this start with the mouth. So your mouth is the beginning of digestive tract, and as soon as you take the food into your mouth, what happen there? You bite them, and chewing breaks the food into pieces that are more easily digested, and then it saliva mixes with the food, and it begins the process of breakdown that food into a form what your body can absorb and use. And then what will happen? Then it comes to the throat, which also called as pharynx. So the throat is the next destination for your food what you eat, and from there food travels to the esophagus. So it is a swallowing tube. So esophagus is a muscular tube. So it extending from pharynx to the stomach, and there by a series of contraction called peristalsis, the esophagus delivers food to stomach, and then stomach. So stomach is actually like a sac-like organ. So it has a strong muscular walls, and it is actually a mixer and a grinder. So stomach secretes acids and powerful enzymes to break down the foods, and when food leaves in the stomach, what happened to it? Food is becomes to a liquid or paste. So from stomach, then food moves to the small intestine. So then small intestine. So small intestine made up of 3 segments. First one is duodenum, and jejunum, and ileum. So the small intestine is a long tube. It is loosely coiled in the abdomen, and small intestine continues the process, the breaking down of food by using the enzymes released by the pancreas and bile from the liver. So then they are actually the duodenum is largely responsible for continuing the process of breaking down of food, and after that the jejunum and ileum are mainly responsible for the absorption of nutrients into the bloodstream. So actually those organs are mainly helpful to absorb the digested foods. So then the pancreas. So what is the function of pancreas? The main function is producing different enzymes which are play a vital role in the food digestion. So from the enzymes secrete from pancreas, they can break down proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. And if we consider about the liver also do huge role in the digestive system. So liver has many functions, but two of its are main functions. So the first one is secrete bile, and also it cleanse and purify the blood, and then the gallbladder. So gallbladder is actually, it's like a pear-shaped reservoir, and it stores bile. So you should know that bile is made in the liver, and then it will stored in gallbladder. And then finally the large intestine. So large intestine, it is at the end of digestive system. So when the small digested food is almost absorbed by the small intestine, the other part will enter to the large intestine. So there it absorbs most of the water to the bloodstream, and the waste material consists of mainly of cellulose, fiber, and other indigestible things remaining, and other water, dead and living bacteria, and cells lost from the lining of the gut. Those will removed by the large intestine. Actually the function of the first part of large intestine is called colon, is mostly to absorb the most of the remaining water from the contents, and leave in a semi-solid waste material called fecus. Then this is stored in the rectum, and until it is expelled out from the body through the anus. So this is the function happen in the large intestine. Now let's see about peristalsis. So in our intestine, it contains two layers of muscles. One layer has fibers arranged in rings around the gut. This is called circular muscle layer, and the other layer has fibers running along the length of the gut, and that is called longitudinal muscle layer. So these two layers work together to push food along, and when the circular muscles contract, the longitudinal muscles relax, and so then the gut is made narrower. So when the opposite happens, that longitudinal muscles contract and circular muscles relax, that then the gut becomes wider. So the waves of muscle contraction like this pass along the gut, pushing the food along, like squeezing movement, squeezing toothpaste from a tube. Okay, as you can see here, peristalsis means it is a series of wave-like muscle contraction that moves food into different processing stations in digestive tract. So this process begins in the esophagus and ends up with the anus. So here you can see that process. So the three main classes of food what you are eaten is broken down by three classes of enzymes. That carbohydrates are digested by enzymes called carbohydrates, and proteins are acted upon by proteases, and lipid foods are break down by enzymes called lipases. So here you can see from this table how those enzymes do their digestive action and what is the source of that enzyme and how this happen. So here first you can see the carbohydrates. First example is amylase. So amylase present in salivary glands. So their starch will be converted into maltose, and amylase also present in pancreas. So their also starch converted into maltose. And there's another carbohydrate enzyme, maltase. Maltase will convert maltose into glucose. Their maltose means disaccharide, glucose means monosaccharide, and starch is the polysaccharide. So what happened there, that starch complex molecule will first break down into disaccharide, maltose, and then into glucose. So maltose is present in the wall of small intestine. So they are from the wall of small intestine, maltose will be secreted. And then proteases. So proteases, pepsin present in the stomach wall. So they will break down proteins into peptides. And there's another enzyme in pancreas called as trypsin. It will convert proteins into peptides. And there's another enzyme in wall of small intestine called peptidase. So those peptidase enzyme will break down peptides into amino acids. And then lipases. So lipase enzymes normally present in the pancreas. So they will break down lipids into glycerol and fatty acids. So let's see the role of bile. So you should know that bile is made from liver as a digestive juice. So normally this appears as green liquid. So yellowish green liquid. And after liver makes this bile, it will stored in gallbladder and passes down the bile duct onto the food. Then what is the function of bile? It turns large lipid globules in the food emulsion of tiny droplets. So this will increase the surface area of the lipid, and therefore lipase enzyme can easily break down these molecules. And then this bile are normally alkaline. So both bile and pancreatic juice both are alkaline, and they will support to neutralize the semi-digested food coming from the stomach. So that will help to absorption process happen in intestine. Here we will see how the absorption process happen in the ileum. So the ileum is actually highly adapted to absorb the digested food. So the lining of the ileum has very large surface area. That means it can quickly and efficiently absorb the soluble products of digestion into the blood. So the length of intestine helps to provide a large surface area, and actually this will support by the folds in its lining. And however, that greatest increase in the area is mainly due to the tiny projections from the lining. Those are called villi. So the singular of villi is villus. So each villus is only about 1 to 2 millimeter long, but there are millions of them. So the total area of the lining is actually thought to be around 300 square meters, about a size of a tennis court. So this produces massive area. This provide massive area in contact with the digested food. So actually this will increase the surface area for absorption. So that each villus contain a network of blood capillaries, and most of the digested food enters these blood vessels, but the products of fat digestion as well as tiny fat droplets enter to a tube in the middle of the villus. So that is called as lacteal. So as you can see here, this one, the middle tube is called as lacteal. So the lacteal form a part of the body's lymphatic system. It transports a liquid called lymph. So the lymph finally drains into the blood system too. So the surface of a villus is made of a single layer of cells called an epithelium. So this means there is a short distance between the digested food in the ileum and the blood capillaries. So that will make easier for the products of digestion to diffuse through the that cell layer and enter to the blood. So the epithelium cells contain many mitochondria, and it supply energy needed for the active transport of some substances there. And actually in addition to that, each villus contain muscle fibers which contract to move the villus, and the villi are actually in constant motion, and they keep in contact with the content of the ileum and maintain a steep concentration gradient for diffusion of the products of this digestion. And actually the blood vessels from ileum joins up to form a large blood vessel called a hepatic portal vein. So it leads to the liver, and liver act rather like a food processing factory and breaking some molecules down and building up some and storing others. And for example, glucose from carbohydrate digestion is converted into glycogen and stored in the liver, and later the glycogen can be converted back into the glucose when the body needs it. And also the digested food molecules are distributed around the body by blood system. So actually the soluble food molecules are absorbed from the blood into the cells of tissues, and they are used to build up new parts of cells, and this process is called assimilation. Here you will find out the structure of a large intestine. It is the terminal part of the alimentary canal, and its primary function is to finish absorption of nutrients and water and form fecus and eliminate fecus from the body. Those are the main function. Here we will find out what is meant by body mass index or BMI. So BMI is actually a measurement. So it is a ratio of your weight and height. So this is one of the good way to gauge whether your weight is in healthy proportion to your height. So this can help you, and you can determine what are the health risks you may face. So if you are in the outside of the range, so normally this can be calculated by taking your mass from kilograms and divided that by your height in meter value into square, and according to this equation you can get the BMI value for you. Then if that value is lower than 18.5 means you are underweight, and if the value is in between 18.5 to 24.9, that means your BMI is okay, or you are in the normal range. And if it is 25 to 29.9, that means you are overweight, and if it is greater than 30, that means you are obese. So this will give you a prediction, so you can have these ones and you can manage yourself according to these values. So let's have a look on food hygiene. So food hygiene means it always concerned with preventing harmful microorganisms contaminating in foods, and also preserving food and reducing its rate of spoilage. So there are some common bacteria that cause diseases that are transmitted in food. So some of them are Salmonella typhi. So those ones cause typhoid fever, and Clostridium botulinum. So that bacteria causes toxins. That means that toxins are very poisonous ones. So they will sometimes causes fatal illnesses also. So then we should know how to prevent the transmission of microorganisms in foods. So that there we can prevent that microorganisms from getting into the food in the first place. So we can treat the food to slow down the rate at which microorganisms multiply in the food. That means we can apply food preservation techniques for that one, and we can cook food properly to kill any microorganisms present. And also that food must be stored in a way that minimizes the transmission of microorganisms. And also food packaging also very much important, and also packaged foods should show the display until when and until and use by dates, so that will helpful to the older consumers of that food for they are safe. And in your home also food should always stored in a way that minimize the contamination. That means cooked and raw foods should not be stored together. This is because bacteria in the uncooked food can be transmitted to the cooked food, and also food should not be left in the open air on a work surface, because bacteria in the air could land on the food, and also insects such as flies could carry bacteria to that food. So that way also that food can be contaminated. And here you can see common methods of food preservation. So in your home also some of them you might practically use. So first one is salting. So some foods are covered in salt, and others are soaked in salt water. So high salt concentration stop bacteria from multiplying, and bacterial cells lose water by osmosis and they will die. So examples for food that preserved from that way is some meats, fish, vegetables, like things, and then pickling. So food are bottled in vinegar, and which is a weak solution of ethanoic acid. That lower pH, actually it will inactivate the microorganism by their affecting their enzyme activity. And examples are fish, onions, cabbage, like examples. And pasteurization. Normally, food in pasteurization, food is heated up to 63 degrees Celsius for about 30 minutes. So alternatively, it is heated to 71.5 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds, and then it is quickly cooled to 10 degrees Celsius. So then heating kills bacteria. So they are not the reproductive spores. So spores are prevented from growing by rapid cooling. So during pasteurization only happens heating, it will kills the bacteria, but spores can be there. Spores are not killing that method. So examples are milk, ice cream, fruit juices, beer. And then the canning is food. Their food is packed in cans and heated up to high temperatures, and then sealed and reheated to temperatures of 105 and 160 degrees Celsius. So high temperatures kill bacteria and their spores, and their cans also prevent more bacteria reaching the food. Examples are meat, fish, vegetables, like that. Then drying. So their food is dried by blowing hot air through it, and this drying removes water from the food. Then bacteria cannot digest and absorb it. Some examples are cereals and some fruits. And then freezing. Freezing also, foods cooled rapidly and stored at minus 12 degrees Celsius to minus 18 degrees Celsius. So low temperatures prevent bacteria from multiplying, and rapid freezing prevents the formation of ice crystals that can alter the texture and flavor of the food. Some examples are vegetables, meat, fish, and prepared meals. And one thing other is ultra heat treatment. They are superheated steam at about 160 degrees Celsius blown through the food for 2 seconds. This will kill all the bacteria and spores. Example is milk. And last one is irradiation. This is high energy gamma radiation. It is passed through the food, and all bacteria and spores are killed. And although any toxins already produced by the bacteria remain. And vegetables. Examples are vegetables, fruits, shellfish. But actually that irradiation technique is not allowed in some countries. So due to their health issues, or due to such kind of barriers, irradiation is not allowed in some countries. But apart from that, all the other techniques are commonly used to food preservation. So hope you might have get more knowledge from this video, and at the end of this lesson you can try for the chapter questions. So thank you all for listening to this one.